into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
This is not a Geico commercial. No. I just wanted to clarify that right away. This is Daniel Bryan's original music.
Yes.
When he worked the indie scene. Who? Anyway, we are live on AfterBuzzTV.com. You're watching live on the AfterBuzz YouTube page. You are listening on iTunes and SoundCloud, liking, subscribing, 5 stars, 10 if you can. Tell your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz TV as we are here to talk about SmackDown. Welcome, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. The Twitter, Real Rosenberg. The Instagram, The Real Rosenberg. The T-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg.
Those look well designed.
Don't they?
Don't they?
Yeah. I'm trying to think who designed this Talk Rosie Talk shirt.
They should hire that designer. Like, other people should hire that designer to do cool stuff.
I'm trying to figure out who I can't put my finger on who designed this one.
It's a good dude.
He's okay. I mean, he is filling in for Scott and Arbor this week. As Steve Kaufmann. It is Steve Kaufmann.
You forgot the champ.
Shit.
AfterBuzz TV's predictions champ.
Shit.
Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That's KAUFMANN.
And the lady next to you, who has been a former champ.
That's right, a 2-time former champ.
At Christy Reports, it is Christy Olsen.
Hey guys, you can always hit me up at Christy Reports. I like to talk to you, and we got the live chat rolling as well.
We do. Once my computer kind of crapped on me just now, but it was going great. So hi chat roll. I'll try to fix my computer in a minute. But let's kick off though with obviously the big talk of the week. Daniel Bryan had to retire due to injury. He had his retirement speech on Raw. We're not really going to necessarily break down the speech per se, because obviously the Raw crew talked about it in depth. But what I just wanted to say about the speech was what Daniel Bryan always really stood for was the fact that he just loves professional wrestling. And you could always tell it in his interviews and just the way he acts and his retirement speech. I'm not even going to call it a promo because it was a speech.
He cut a promo on retirement.
Yes. He said this Sunday
retirement.
He's going to take retirement to the limit. But it was just genuine, and you can feel his love for the sport. And that's my favorite thing about him is just his genuine passion for professional wrestling, and it showed in the speech.
And he's a genuine article of a person too, and like somebody who can walk out to that crowd, have everybody just so enamored with them, and for him to literally close his eyes and take 30 seconds and just be like, I just literally wanted to close my eyes and take that moment in.
Yeah.
And like that's all he. It's a shame we're never gonna get to see him work, and I'm gonna represent the internet when I say it's a shame some of the stuff they put him through, like some of the stuff they didn't do with him while he could have worked.
I was just going to bring that up. Do you think everyone, when they were like, oh, it's a slow burn, don't be upset that Daniel Bryan's not on top right now, he'll get it eventually, you think they're regretting that now? Because like they never did him versus Brock or him versus Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, oh my God.
Him Atami, him Zayn.
Well, I mean, these things we can name a million of them.
Right. Well, and it's just so sad when someone's dreams gets crushed. And you're right. It meant so much to him, and that's what always stood out about him. And it just makes me so darn sad.
And I think it's the reason we all resonated. He resonated with us so much that they presumably changed a main event for WrestleMania for him. Now the WWE would argue that was the plan all along. But
of course,
that's not a very well laid plan. If that was your plan. But like that's how good a guy he was. That he was so genuine, and even like he started out like he was kind of a heel. He retained the title at the Royal Rumble like 3 or 4 years ago, and then he like held on to the title, and that's where actually
that's
started.
where the yeses started. Yeah,
where like he would clutch onto the title and just be like yes, 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 like a psychopath, and we all just got behind him.
Now let me throw this question out at you, because a couple of people tweeted this to me after the retirement speech, and I thought it was actually an excellent point, because WWE has done this before. Do you think, and I mean we're all I'm sure in agreement that Daniel Bryan will be a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get inducted this year?
Not a chance.
No way.
Because the Hall of Fame, much like all their shows, need headliners, and he's someone who should headline a Hall of Fame.
Do you think he's had a long enough WWE career to be the headliner? Because let me put it this way: when Eddie Guerrero passed away, now I know they never headlined a Hall of Fame with someone who's passed away, but that same year that he passed away, he was inducted. When Edge retired, that very next Hall of Fame, Edge headlined it. It's just like when they have this popular face and with the current audience, from a quote unquote marketing standpoint, they in the history they take advantage of it, and bring them right into the Hall of Fame so they can have that big moment while that person's still at the height of their popularity.
And you can do it on their current contract.
Correct.
Fiscally speaking.
Yeah. Now I'm a firm believer. I've said this on the show in the past 3 years because this has come up on occasion. I'm a firm believer in how they do it in other sports, where you should be retired for at least 5 years before you get inducted. But obviously WWE doesn't do that.
Yeah. Well, they also don't have a literal hall.
That's also true.
You're going into the Hall of Fame. Where is it? Nowhere.
And their Hall of Fame inductions are used to tell stories.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan's retirement is inarguably become the biggest wrestling story that's gone mainstream.
Yeah.
Everybody's reporting on it. TV, I mean, Good Morning America, Rolling Stone, everyone's talking about it. So, I mean, maybe you might be onto something.
But I feel like next year, the year after that would be.
No,
He'd be able to stand. I
personally do not want him inducted this year, but I can see it happening, and he should certainly be in the Hall of Fame.
Although Edge,
I think it's like Paul Bearer. Like Paul Bearer died so close to the Hall of Fame that if they would have put him in that year, it would have looked awkward.
Exactly.
Like, oh man, he wasn't going to go in, but because he's dead, we'll put him in. So then they put him in the next
the
year.
following year.
So like I think depending on where WrestleMania is next year, if it's in Seattle, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going in it.
Do you think they're going to get another WrestleMania?
We know they're not in Seattle next year, right?
I think they were torn between like Minnesota and somewhere else.
It was because it's. I think they just
Florida, somewhere in Florida, maybe.
I think it was Minnesota and Orlando. It was between Minnesota and Orlando, and then the following year, it's alleged to be in Philadelphia.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
But also, when Edge retired in May.
Right.
And so they had plenty of time to plan on him headlining a Hall of Fame, whereas now they'd shoehorn Daniel Bryan into a Hall of Fame. I don't think they want to do that. I don't think they should do that. I think Daniel Bryan shouldn't be shoehorned in.
I agree. I don't think you should. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't put it past them if they decided to do it.
Well, because who's headliner? Who's the headliner?
Sting.
JB.
Sting's going to be the headliner.
Yeah, Sting. That's enough.
JBL's not going to headline over Sting.
Well, he's from wherever.
Oh, no. JBL's going to be awesome, and they better induct him this year. They haven't announced it yet.
That would be typical WWE fashion, actually.
They have JBL headline over Sting.
I'm saying it could happen.
Have Hardcore Holly beat CM Punk's record. Have JBL headline over Sting. Like, they've done some stuff.
Never know.
Well, let's get into tonight's SmackDown, which was certainly hyped up over the last week because we had a match last week announced for the following week, and Raw hyped up this match, of course, of Jericho versus AJ Styles, and it seems like we're going to start the show with it.
I was excited for that.
Jericho comes out, microphone in hand, talking about how he respects AJ, but he doesn't like AJ. Is he good? Yes. Is he great? Who knows? Is he phenomenal? Not like me. And AJ comes out, and we're ready to have this match start the show, and they are interrupted by the freaking social outcasts. God, I love this.
They're the social house cat.
Oh, but I just love that as a team, they can, like, disagree with each other, like, wholeheartedly.
Like, it's like they can't stand each other, but are like, let's go, team! We're put together!
Like, literally, we understand that the 4 of us together, or in tonight's case, 3, we need to be together to get on the card.
Yeah.
But we don't like each other.
And side note, I want Axel and Adam Rose to team up and call themselves Axel Rose.
You know that happened.
Yes.
You know that was on a whiteboard somewhere.
Like years ago.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Recently, like by last summer, when Curtis Axel had to lose his current gimmick of being Axelmania for obvious reasons. I think that had to have been pitched at some point.
Yeah.
Like, well, we don't have much going on with Adam Rose. So
Axel Rose. And they spell Axel different.
Can't get sued. Love it.
Yeah.
Slap it on the t-shirts. Let's do it.
But Adam Rose feels that along with the Crimson Werewolf,
That was awesome.
they should be the Social House Cats. You do it better than I do, Christy. So.
I mean, you have the nails.
Yeah, I don't have the nails for it.
That'll give something Natty to do. She could be their manager.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Crazy cat lady domination.
See, she's huge on social media.
That would be.
Why not? She's got nothing else going on.
She'll get on the card.
Yeah, she'll be on the show.
She's traveling with the show. She might as well be on the show.
Imagine that.
You're just hanging out.
Like, you're back there. Meeting with kids at hospitals. Like, you should probably also be on the show.
So these guys end up brawling. Jericho grabs a mic and mentions, "Hey, later tonight, AJ, you and I are gonna, wrestle. But right now, let's beat these guys up, pretty much."
Yeah.
And then we have Jericho and AJ versus Axl Rose, or the Social House Cats, whatever you want to call them.
They're gonna be Axl Rose.
We're gonna be Axl Rose.
Yeah.
Yes. Until that cease and desist comes through.
They're playing that game of who can do it better between AJ and Jericho.
Yeah.
Between chops and kicks and everything. And I love Jericho did a suplex, and then AJ did a snap suplex, and he looked at Jericho, and Jericho's like, "That's not what I did. I held him up. You just did that's a different move." This match was pretty much how we expected it to go. A good match. Jericho in control towards the end, hit the lion salt, but then AJ tagged himself in for his springboard forearm, pinned Adam Rose, and Jericho and AJ's arms are raised together, but you can feel the dissension. And then, as fast as you can say, Social House Cats, Codebreaker. And Jericho walks away from AJ Styles.
Welcome to the jungle, AJ Styles.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
Reference City. There it is.
Since I didn't get in my "that's what she said" when we were talking about Daniel Bryan.
Oh. That was hilarious when he did that.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a November Rain reference, but we're in February, so it couldn't work.
Oh.
Well, this team needs to survive to November.
Which it won't. Which it will not.
Well, no, the Social Outcasts might not, but I think Axl Rose, I think that has legs.
That's got the potential, huh?
The future Hall of Fame tag team. Right now, you heard it first. Axl Rose.
How much longer are you going to hold that predictions title? Because it ain't going to be long if you're doing things like that.
Through Mania.
You've said a lot of far-fetched things on this show. That's probably the farthest fetchiest.
That I can hold the title through Mania?
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta put it out in the universe.
Exactly.
All right.
Ryback the secret style.
You heard it here, chat roll. Like, my computer's acting up, so I can't read the chat roll here. But I'm listening to Steve's claim, and please laugh at him for it.
That's only like 2 more pay-per-views.
Exactly.
When was the last time? Christy's like the only person who's held on consecutive pay-per-views. George did it too.
It's pay-per-view
Yeah, I shared
panel
it with them
people.
once.
You got if you're that intimate with the pay-per-view, you understand it more and you're able to predict it better than everybody else.
Is that how it works?
It's exactly how it works.
Got it. I have studying to do. Dudley Boyz. So Raw, Dudley's decided to become bad guys again. And
Can they stay bad guys? Then I'm on board.
well, so they took out, after they won their match against New Day and Mark Henry with the Usos, they took out the Usos, put them through tables. And Dudley's came out here, not dressed to wrestle, mentioned that we made a statement on Monday, but all everyone wants to talk about is Daniel Bryan. Which is very true. And then they brought up that we've been looked at as a nostalgic act, which is also very true.
Yes.
But we are the baddest tag team on the planet. Where if you look at their track record, could also be true.
No, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
They are the most decorated tag team in the history of wrestling.
Right.
They can't say that because WWE wants everything to be within that bubble.
I just don't know if I would consider them the baddest tag team on the planet today.
Yeah.
Well,
but all time.
But in the history of tag teams, they're the most decorated. And like, they go in wherever they go, they take the belt.
Well, baddestness is subjective. So,
Yes.
You know.
Whereas decorated, that's you can
I
like
think
quantify
Legion
that.
of the Doom is the only one that has more belts than they do.
Do they?
Oh wow.
The Road Warriors have more.
I don't know.
I think so. I mean, like, ECW is the only title that the Road Warriors held that they didn't have, and TNA. But, I mean, like, think about all the years that the Road Warriors were in Japan and all these other places just wrecking shop on everybody. Never sold a move or got beaten.
So are you saying total
Probably
reigns?
just, like, overall, yeah, like, total reigns. And then, like,
Chat
never
roll.
splitting
Someone look
up.
that up. Someone
'Cause
look that up,
the
chat
Dudleys
roll.
have been split up before.
Yeah.
And wrestled the singles. The Road Warriors never really split
But
up.
I'm trying to think. I feel like the Dudleys have held more different, like the variety. The
Oh, yeah, you're
Dudleys,
probably
given
right for sure.
given their time frame, they've held more different championships. But you're right. The Road Warriors have probably held more championship reigns.
But then comes the point with Bubba saying, you know, these tables, they didn't win 9 WWE Tag Team Championships. We did. All we hear is we want tables. How about let's go Devon or we want Bubba? This is the last time you're ever going to see these tables again, they say.
So are they turning New Day face? Because now New Day is gonna save the tables to be
They're
broken.
not. Well, they're not feuding with New Day right now. They're feuding with Usos. And pretty much you're like, all right. They have crew guys come out, remove all the tables around, and then Bubba's like, one more time, Devon, get the mic drop, and then they just carry a table out.
I love a good mic drop.
I absolutely loved this promo. This is what we needed from the Dudleys when they came back, and we finally got it. I love this idea. I love them just being heel, saying, you know, hey, we came back for you guys because we wanted to become 10-time tag champions, but all we hear is tables. We don't hear Bubba or Devon. We're legends in this business, which they are. Everything they said was 100% true.
Their feelings are hurt, guys.
They were upset.
Yeah. But so do you think, because this has to lead to them becoming 10-time WWE Tag Team Champions, which would be the equivalent to, God, I don't have that number, but I think it's something in the area of 20. Like 20-time World Tag Team Champion? Like,
No, I think they're already at like 26
yeah,
or
like
something like that.
Stupid across
Some absurd number.
across like 8 promotions.
Yeah.
So like, I remember when they got the TNA titles, back when it was the NWA Tag Team Championships, and they changed over very quickly. I remember it was really lame how they got it, and I feel like we're running into that again. Because right now it's them and the Usos, and I would rather they just have a good program with the Usos, but I don't want them to walk into a WrestleMania cluster F.
And win it then?
And win then, where it's like they got a WrestleMania moment, and it's like, yeah, they buried the entire tag team division, and then the New Day will just wind up on top in like a week. Like that's, I mean, it's not an electrified steel cage, but
Yet. They haven't announced it yet.
they have it. Oh man,
Jerry Jones does big things in Texas.
Oh god. Oh god. So you're saying it's going to be an 8 tag team
Electrified Elimination Chamber.
electrified elimination chamber match
Book it!
Our chat roll is predicting something similar. So
for free,
nice.
for free on the WWE Network as the pre-show?
Yes, kickoff match.
AJ0314 says Dudleys have been 25-time tag.
There you go.
There we go.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
That's
That's a lot of gold.
I started in EFED when I was 16. The Dudleys came in and became tag champs there.
You shouldn't brag about this.
But they came,
That doesn't
you
count.
wanna take that back,
That does
Walter?
not count on their 25-time reign.
It does not. But they we were not recognized as a World Tag Team Championship. I think we should have been.
I don't know why you're talking about this.
Well, the chat roll seems to think that an NXT team will be coming up too, and will be part of that whole melee that we're sure is going to happen.
My prediction is Enzo and Kaz the night after WrestleMania.
There's been a lot of talk about Enzo and Kaz. There's been a lot of talk of maybe the Vaudevillains too. Both of them are due. Both are ready.
They're both definitely ready. I have reservations of how the main roster crowd would like the Vaudevillains.
Yeah,
I want to be wrong, but I honestly think when they get called up, it'll be like the Ascension.
But
they would need like 2 or 3 weeks
of vignettes.
Like, vignettes.
They need the vignettes for sure.
They need people to understand who they are, so that when they come out in black and white, people aren't confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's another conversation for another day. We need to talk about Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Yeah.
Because with this SmackDown that was completely hyped up with AJ versus Jericho, this stole the freaking show.
Yes.
I could not take my eyes off of this match. It was unbelievable.
Becky Lynch was on commentary. Tamina, obviously at ringside with Naomi. New music for Naomi. And I liked her other music.
Yeah.
I like this one too. I'm curious why they changed it so quickly.
I also like that Sasha Banks dropped Team Bad, and we're getting a lot of weight to that choice. Whereas, like, a lesser booked angle would just let that go and then not put those 2 girls on TV to go after Sasha for it. Like, whereas it's like, no, she thinks she's the Beyonce of this group. We're going to fight her for 3 weeks over those words.
No, she's not.
Make it say, yeah. I see what you were doing there.
That's actually a really old Destiny's Child song.
I know. That's why he brought it up with Beyonce and stuff.
Yeah, we're all in the same.
Good job, guys.
We're all survivors, guys.
There it is.
There we go.
I'm going to be at the ha.
Oh, don't be a bugaboo.
Wow.
Okay.
And Steve's out of here.
Bye, Steve.
We lost Steve. Oh, he left his belt. He left his title. I want it. Give it to me. I've never been closer to the title. I've never been. Oh, it's mine.
Done. We just had a title change live right here on the SmackDown After Show.
This feels. This
Rosie, that's not how this works.
This feels right. It just feels right.
But you know.
It looks good on you.
It's a sign of things to come.
Oh.
One day. One magical day. Anyway, I don't want to nitpick. There was one little hiccup in the match, but they saved it really well. There's a point where Sasha was supposed to back body drop Naomi over the top rope onto Tamina, but they didn't catch it right for whatever reason. But then they just pretty much land on their feet like a forearm, and then Sasha just threw her through the middle rope, and Naomi pretty much torpedoed herself onto Tamina. So they made it work just fine.
Yeah, Tamina threw herself to the floor. You know.
Yeah, and Tamina still didn't catch her the whole way because it wasn't in the right place.
Right.
And then it was.
But it worked. It still worked.
We're gonna see it on Botchamania.
Well, I think that's just a testament to how strong the entire match was when we can be like, oh, there was this one tiny little thing.
But this match was, and they gave it close to 15 minutes. Naomi's little kick sequence, that was badass.
Yes.
Like, where is that? Why have they not used that? This is the first time I've seen it. I don't know if she's used it before. I've never seen it.
Instead of that booty thing she does.
Well, she could still do that.
Yeah, she's got to keep the rear view.
Oh,
she's got to keep the rear view.
All right, I've never been a fan of the rear view.
Well, I felt bad for the one fan who had the sign tonight who was really waiting for it and never got it.
That fan wanted the rear view.
Huh?
I don't know if he wanted the same way that she normally delivers it in the match.
I mean, he was front row.
He was.
He probably got to see what he wanted to see. He got to see a great match. That's what I'm talking about.
We also had a scissors driver by Naomi. Sasha kicked Tamina when Tamina was in the chair after her and Becky brawled a little bit. And, like, she kicked her hard. Tamina flew.
Into that chair.
Backwards.
Oh.
Naomi...
And they couldn't have gotten the shot any better either.
No, the shot was perfect.
The cameraman was right there.
Right there. Naomi went for her split-legged moonsault, missed that. Bank statement by Sasha. Gets the win. And I know we kind of questioned it last week about the fact that, all right, are we happy that Brie's kind of in the title picture right now and Sasha and Becky have kind of taken a back seat at the moment? But obviously it's going to lead up to something more. But the fact that they're giving these guys a pay-per-view match as well, and they're building this up really, really well. We got 2 Divas matches on Fastlane. The last time I can remember there being 2 Divas match on one pay-per-view was when Stephanie was in the match at SummerSlam as one Divas match. But as far as active, regular wrestling divas, 2 matches on a pay-per-view, that's pretty big. And it's for good reason. They built up the story for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited for one, the fact that Naomi and Tamina get a pay-per-view match. Mm-hmm. But I'm just really looking forward to how this match pans out. Mm-hmm.
I am.
Anyone else with anything?
No, I am as well, because you can. If the plan is to move forward with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch being in the title picture, then they would have to vanquish their foes to move on. Mm-hmm. But if the plan is to just keep a second segment for the Divas, then Team Bad should win, but it should be dirty in some way, or even dusty, to a place where we have somewhere to go.
Dirty, dusty, cobwebby.
Yes, all
that stuff.
All the things, baby. And quick dusty.
Well, and as far as the Charlotte and Brie thing, that's changed a little bit for me since last week. We were talking about they were given that match out of kind of a sympathetic factor for Brie and Nikki and the whole thing, and now we know that there was much more to be sympathetic towards Brie Bella about than we even knew. So now I'm kind of feeling like
even more reason that it was forced.
Well, yes, but I think they may look at that as giving it even more weight.
Yeah.
Well, or at least giving...
Or making it make sense.
Dude, I just had a brilliant idea that they'll never do.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let's hear it anyway, honey.
I don't know.
Brie Olsen.
I'm not...
Brie Olsen.
What? What?
Brie Bella.
Who? Different show, Steve.
Completely different show. Brie Bella versus Charlotte Flair. Ric Flair in Charlotte's corner. Daniel Bryan in Brie's corner. And both men are relegated to the roles that women normally held.
Yes! Girl power!
That they just become valets that get thrown out.
I don't want Daniel Bryan to be. I don't want Daniel Bryan to be out there just like 2 weeks after he retired.
I know. Like I said, they're not going to do it.
But it makes sense.
But it makes sense because part of the reason they have Brie in this match is so she can take some of the mojo that they gave an entire main event of Raw to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because very rarely do you give something the main event of Raw that's not building to a match.
Right.
So if Brie Bella is at least out there, and now she's fighting the women's champion, you could laterally argue that's where some of the mojo went.
No, I gotcha.
The match mojo, the segment mojo.
Yeah. And before we wrap on Divas at Fastlane, I just want to remind everyone that Eva Marie is in the promo, and I would not be surprised if she somehow gets her little red butt in there somewhere.
No.
Not a chance.
I think it could happen.
No, she's still barely getting through a 5-minute match in NXT. She's not coming on the main roster anytime soon.
She looks good.
Well, that's one person.
I could see her. I mean, they would have done it by now, but like I could see her being like a host. Like because she's on
she tried to do that once.
Yeah, it was not very good. Was it? Like I
she
said,
forgot Jinder Mahal. It was like a big deal. He was pissed.
He was. But like that would be that's how I see her involvement currently. Mm-hmm. I also see improvement from her down in NXT.
No, she's getting better,
but
she's nowhere near ready yet.
Judging from the poster for Fastlane, I think they thought she would be.
Oh, maybe that's just.
I think they
had their fingers crossed.
They make the posters many months in advance.
Yeah,
I mean, wasn't R-Truth on a poster not too long ago, and he wasn't even on the pay-per-view?
Yep, like they do, and I think that's partly. I'm guessing, I don't know this, but I would assume it's part of their contract as well. That like, if you're R-Truth and you're renegotiating a contract, like you can negotiate that I'm the poster for an event. So that they're locked into.
I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know either, but like that sounds like one of those crazy contract things.
Like agent negotiation.
Yeah,
I think they did that with a Tommy, and that's why he was at WrestleMania.
Really?
In the Rumble. I think like it might have been something like, well, I need to be at WrestleMania my first year in the company, so they're like, oh, okay, we'll put you in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, we'll put you. That
makes sense.
But stuff like that little stuff that's huge to the performer. Mm-hmm. That's very little when it comes to a contract negotiation. Instead of money, we can put you on a poster, and then you can be seen on like bus billboards, and stuff. And that's pretty cool, and it helps your personal image and brand.
JoJo is backstage with AJ Styles, asking him about what happened at the end of their match earlier tonight, and are you ready for the main event tonight? Really the longest we've heard AJ speak since he's been there.
That's what I was thinking.
He's a redneck, but he's no rookie, and tonight he shows the world and Jericho why they call me the Phenomenal One. That's pretty much all. Like your cliche promo.
It was short and it was sweet, and obviously I like AJ Styles, but I want to hear from somebody who didn't know who AJ Styles was 3 weeks ago, and I really want to know how they feel about this, how they see AJ Styles, like how AJ Styles has been portrayed. Like, is he actually being portrayed as an equal to Chris Jericho? And is being an equal to Chris Jericho an amazing thing right now?
I think the way they hype him up on commentary, I'm sure people then spent time to YouTube him and Google him, and find the stuff in Japan.
Mm-hmm. But I'm arguing that there's a large sect of the audience that isn't going to do that, and that isn't even listening to commentary that much. Mm-hmm. That I want to know how they're receiving this guy who came in with all this hubbubaloo, but hasn't said very much. And like when the Miz talked down when we beat down on Miz, and then like he looked equal to Chris Jericho, and he beat down Curtis Axel. Like I wonder because we know what we're in for with AJ Styles. He's going to deliver in the ring every time, and he doesn't need to say very much. But I'm very curious how people who don't know that feel. Like, are they still rooting for Jericho? And then like, because even tonight, like Jericho, AJ Styles, we got a pretty clear face versus face match that you kind of picked your favorite.
Yeah.
And that's the second time, and it looks like we're going to have a third time. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, and then they both did heelish things at the top of the night. Like, AJ did the blind tag, and then Jericho did the sucker move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just interested to see where we're headed with, and what people think of him. Because I didn't think they would have put him on the main roster. I've been outspoken about that.
Yeah. Wyatt's come out. We have a Wyatt promo. No match with any of the Wyatts, but a promo. Yeah. Talking about how the War of the Titans was between old and new for control of the universe. And I am the king of the gods, and this is my army. We've taken out Kane, Big Show, Ryback. We are getting rid of all of WWE's Titans. This war against your gods has only just begun. If that does not scream Brock Lesnar, I don't know what does.
That's fair. What do we think about the rumors that it's Strowman Taker?
Actually, now the new rumors are that there was fan backlash to those rumors, so they've scrapped them
Shocking.
entirely.
Fan backlash to that.
Yeah.
Is it time for Believe That?
Well, I was going to wait for one more segment, but since it came up, might as well go to Believe That now.
That is a perfect segue to this, because that is a big part of it. And actually, I would like to report that Kevin Owens lobbied hard, supposedly, to get this match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 32, and he was shot down pretty quickly. He went to the high. He went to the powers that be and was like, "Give me the match," and they were like, "No."
In favor of
Sorry.
what? Like, that feels, once again, maybe I'm too in the bubble, but that feels like a license to print money.
I'm gonna go on the other way. Now, like, yeah, on paper that'd be a fun match for sure. Since when can someone walk up and be like, I want this match on the biggest stage of them all, and your name is not The Undertaker? Who can do it? He's been on the main roster for less than a year, and he is smart enough with everything that he's done to not do that.
Ooh,
wait, but
that's a good point.
Wait, he never said he said he's stating a want. You can't state your wants.
It's one thing if you like tweet and, hey, this would be cool to do this, but let me put it this way. If I've been on the roster for less than a year, and Steve, you're the boss, and I'm walking up to you and be like, hey, you know the most legendary WrestleMania figure that we've ever had? You know, if I've been on the roster for less than a year, I had a couple main events with Cena, which obviously were very good. I won an Intercontinental title. Put me in the second biggest match on the card at your biggest show of the year.
Well, you didn't do a very good job pitching yourself. Hey, I've been presented as the man. I've been presented as one of the very few people who can take down John Cena. I've been presented as one of the very few people who in a very short period of time can go from NXT to the main roster, losing very little. If there's anyone on your roster that has the kind of chip to go up against The Undertaker at WrestleMania that can believably, possibly beat him, it's me. And I draw money. proof. Here's the T-shirt sales.
Oh, well, see, now I'm convinced.
See? Like, I could see...
I don't think there's any way
Also,
Kevin Owens did that.
But
approached them about it. I don't see that at all.
Well,
all the dirt sheets are saying it happened.
Oh, well, that must be true.
But define approach. Like, at some point, if someone were to ask you what you think, and maybe that may or may not happen, but he only stated a want, which is, this is what I want. This is what I think could happen. And you're trying to foster a place where it's okay for me to do that. For me, like, no idea is a bad idea. Bring it up. Because that would be amazing on paper. Somebody who's been there less than a year, but has accomplished all he'd accomplished in that year, to then go up against The Undertaker. And once again, similar to Bray Wyatt last year, The Undertaker doesn't have to show up to Raw to promote the match. Kevin Owens can do that for him.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
that's part of the spot to facing The Undertaker at WrestleMania now.
I don't know. I can see Kevin Owens being in an incredible opening match on the pay-per-view this year. Because really, he's doing this feud with Ziggler right now.
It's got to be him and Zayn.
Well, Zayn has to show up on Raw again if they're going to do that.
Yeah, that's
they're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
True that, but...
Because he's finishing this thing with Ziggler. Mm-hmm. That's going to go at least till Fastlane. And then you got about 4 or 5 weeks, which, again, is enough time to do it.
You also have a whole other special, not a pay-per-view, but they have a show, they have a Sunday night show, it might be a Friday night show in Toronto, that they're calling March to WrestleMania, because it's happening in March.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And it's going to be a network special. Like, it's been announced as a network
Like a
special.
house show that's a network special?
Yeah, like a house show in Toronto that's a network special that I'm sure Lesnar will face Big E Langston on. Actually, I want to, if that's legit, I want to watch that.
That'd be a fun match.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lesnar Big E.
Yeah. But yeah, so Christy, to answer your question, no, I don't believe it.
Oh, well, thank you for playing, boys.
I don't believe. I believe at some point, if asked in a proper business setting, he stated that that's what he wanted. Without, like, he strikes me as somebody who is a student of Triple H. Dare I say, a student of the game? Sorry.
Don't give him a rim shot for that. Don't do a rim shot.
Sorry. But somebody who knows how to play that backstage game. He knows when and when not to speak, if you will.
Right, that's why I don't think he would have done it.
I think he would have said it at some point. I don't think he said it as without tact as it sounds. No. As much as, like, Vince may have asked him once in passing, what do you want to do for WrestleMania? And he's like, well, I'd like to face Taker. That's not unprofessional. That's stating your want.
If he's asked, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I doubt he was asked.
I'm sure it was similar to, like, Ryback on Sam Roberts' show being like, I want to face Brock Lesnar next year at WrestleMania kind of thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, good. That's a good one.
I don't think Kevin
so
Owens
thought that was going to happen for the
kicked open
longest time.
Vince McMahon's office door or, like, grabbed him by the arm as he was walking back and was like, hey, I want to tell you who I want to face at WrestleMania.
We're going to get to arm grabs shortly. But first, we got to talk about a 6-man tag team. Neville and Lucha Dragons versus Stardust and the Ascension. This match happened again.
Playa.
No, yeah.
It's a tag team match, playa.
Hey, I'm sorry. You know, me and Teddy, I mean, we're on a first name basis now since I worked with them a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, you know, I don't mock the long. Thank you. But no, we've had this match a million times. I feel like Sin Cara is now holding Kalisto back. And
oh no, that's guaranteed.
Agreed.
But does anybody else see the timing of Kalisto's title run? I don't want to say suspect, but a little on the nose to the timing of another show that's covered here at AfterBuzz TV with Lucha in the title. That, like, the week it debuts, Kalisto is your champion out of nowhere. But then Sin Cara, the other guy, who's also the Lucha. Am I digging too much into this?
Yes.
Okay. I think they're going out of their way. I think they're going.
You are the king of conspiracy theories. You are the king of that.
Little Jimmy.
I think you're looking too far into it. I think it was a blessing in disguise for Kalisto when Sin Cara got hurt. Obviously, he's back. It's good that he's healthy and obviously can compete and everything like that. But I don't feel like they should pair him up. If it's plateauing Kalisto, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do a complete swerve on something and make Sin Cara turn heel on Kalisto.
That would work.
And that could work leading into Mania. But
and that would make me actually care about Sin Cara.
right, but we'd have to see. But
that would give me the mask versus mask match.
Right. But Salida del Sol, Swanton Bomb, Red Arrow, they win. That's that.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah. Main event time: Jericho versus AJ Styles. First off, Jerry Lawler says, "My cat has coughed up better hair than that." In direction to AJ Styles.
Hashtag Lawlerisms.
I love heel Lawlerisms.
Yes.
This was a wrestling clinic. This was better than the first one. I think it went longer than the first one. It had Mauro Ranallo doing commentary, which made it better than the first one.
He mentioned both the IWGP
and NWA.
And the NWA as organizations that have champions, AJ Styles being former of both.
I said when they had their first match that it was a phenomenal match, no pun intended, a phenomenal match, but they were saving stuff because you knew more was coming. Then they had this one. They gave even more, but more is coming. And this was... I love the Walls Jericho counter into the calf crusher. Jericho winning with the code breaker. I love that they let him win clean. And because the whole story, I mean, if AJ beat Jericho twice clean, then we're going to have what's going to happen with Jericho. He's just going to be beside himself. So I love that they let him win the match. And now it's perfect setup for a rubber match at Fastlane. And that's going to... And make that one a 2 out of 3 falls match. Why not?
They should. Or just announce that it's best of 7. Right.
Or a best of 7 series.
Yeah,
because that can go...
2.
Number 3 would be at Fastlane. And they can build it up 4, 5, and 6. Spread them out up to Mania and have that be number 7.
That March show.
A Raw, SmackDown, a Raw. Oh, yeah, make one of them maybe the Toronto show.
Yeah, make one of them like a deciding one, a Toronto show. Like, let somebody get a lead. Let somebody get a lead heading into that show, like a 2-match lead, and then they have to, like, rally.
I think it's a great idea.
You guys got it all worked out.
We got it done. Steve and I got it done.
I mean, if you're going to go AJ Styles Jericho this early, it should be...
That's how you build it up.
It should be a best of 7 that you spread out the entire WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going
to... It might just end at Fastlane, but I would love it to keep going. I would.
Yeah.
So that wraps up SmackDown, but we got news. We got some news that we need to discuss. There's the music. And this news involves one Titus O'Neil. So Titus O'Neil, one half of what was known as the Primetime Players. Millions of dollars. A lot of charity work. Father of the Year. Well-spoken.
Took a bunch of homeless people to a restaurant once.
Yes. Suspended! By God, why?
He must have done something terrible.
Something awful.
Well, allegedly, now, I don't want to consider this dirt sheet stuff because it's clear as day when you watch the video. But he put his hands on Vince McMahon at the end of the Daniel Bryan thing. Like, kind of grabbing him, just kind of playing around, having fun. And Vince was, like, ready to fight him. And he shoved him right back. Now... Is this the sole reason he got suspended? Who knows? It might very well be. I felt like I had a conspiracy theory moment, and I felt like I was going to steal Steve's thunder with this. But if a guy is undefeated for 3 months or so, like been on a rampage, then loses on Raw to Adam Rose, who has not won a singles match in God knows how long, and then is suspended...
Ooh, that's a good one.
To me, there's more to it, but obviously there's nothing backing it up. So we're just going to go that he put his hand on Vince, and Vince was mad and suspended him.
Well, the dirt sheet I'm reading is... Which must be a different dirt sheet than yours.
No, mine was in the Mind.
Okay.
Mine was christiansmind.com.
No, he's not looking at that stuff.
Not to be confused with christianmingle.com. That's a whole different site.
Don't go to christianmind.com.
Christians. Oh wait, that's probably some other site altogether.
That's
rosenbergsmind.com.
Submission Sorority.
Submissionsorority.com.
Google it.
But the dirt sheet I'm reading says that Vince, for whatever reason, feels like a lot of his boys are unprofessional, and he chose this moment to make an example of Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, he feels that some of the superstars have just been getting just a little bit too
handsy.
Just disregarding the rules and such things. And so he decided to lay down the law.
superstars. I know you watch the show.
All of them do.
Stop touching Vince. Just
no means no.
Don't even shake his hand. And by God, do not sneeze in front of him.
Just a little head nod will do. And for a bunch of people, I've seen like on my personal Facebook page and on Twitter, people saying that Vince is a racist for suspending Titus in Black History Month. Shut up. Just shut up right now. If you think that has anything to do with this, you do not belong in front of a television set. You belong in a corner, staring at it, imagining rainbows and butterflies.
I keep waiting for you to like drop the other shoe and be like, Vince is a racist because
this is why. No, he is not. He is not. He is not at all. I want to work there someday. He is not at all. He is not at all. But yeah, for people to think that has something to do with it. Look, if Heath Slater did what Titus did, I think he would be suspended too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, I think,
and he's almost as white as me.
And the people who've been claiming this about Titus and about the racism, if Vince McMahon were the like stereotypical racist people portray him as, Titus O'Neil would have never had a job to be suspended from.
Yeah,
like the kind of racist people think Vince McMahon is. Like
baffles me. Doesn't
even exist in our world.
No. So,
well, but
primetime players coming back in 90 days? Because his push is gone. Because his push is gone.
Been taken down from 90 days to 60 days.
Yeah. All right, 60 days.
Yeah.
So, primetime players back in 60 days?
I mean, Batista told Titus O'Neil to give his notice and quit entirely. That was his suggestion. He told him that on Twitter publicly. He's encouraging Titus to tell him to shove it.
Is Batista going to get Titus O'Neil on a movie so he can like?
Where's
can happen.
Where's Titus going to go if he leaves WWE?
Well,
he's not. I mean, he's a good wrestler, but his style's not exactly for Lucha Underground.
No, I would.
His style's not exactly for Japan.
I would love to see him in Lucha Underground.
What would he do? Just feud with Big Rick. Is Big Rick still there?
I think Big Rick's still there. But
okay.
I think like everybody else there would like fly around him, and he would literally just like try to catch them.
And bark really loud.
And bark really, yes. And then one more little piece of news, because he posted it on his Facebook page. Bret Hart had successful surgery today. He's resting comfortably. Yes.
The studio audience.
They're standing. Brett, they're standing in our imaginary area for you.
They haven't said anything up till right now.
Well, they've been listening. We've been mesmerizing them. Glad it went well, Brett. Feel better. Get well soon. Sharpshooter more people. And I don't know what else to say with that.
Yeah.
It'll happen. But that's going to wrap up AfterBuzz for this week. Fun-filled show. Steve, thanks for hanging out with us this week.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Hey, you know what? Some people might want to chat with you afterwards. How can they do that?
They can find me on the street and then start saying words to me.
Okay.
They can also find me on Twitter. That's at Steve Kaufmann, KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here on AfterBuzz TV, including Fastlane, 2 weeks, all week from this Sunday.
A week and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Good job plugging it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Words. This shirt courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com.
Christy Olsen.
Oh, well, I insist that you all follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Christy Reports. And I am going to be getting some juicy wrestling-related interviews this weekend, so make sure you check out ChristyReports.com next week.
Boom. Hey, James in the booth, plug your Twitter.
Find me on Twitter at TheJimboSlice, TheJimboSlice, and you can see me on the Lucha Underground after show at 10 o'clock.
There you go. Ooh. And first off, thank you to Christy.
Yes, thank you.
For getting us Valentine's. I feel like the worst guy in the world. The girl got me a Valentine's Day gift, and I didn't even think of it.
That's not...
Maybe this is why I'm single.
That's not common, Rosie?
I just wanted to get in there and be your Valentine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Don't tell your husband. Don't tell your husband.
He does not watch anything.
Follow me. Oh, he doesn't watch this anyway. He has no idea what you're doing right now. Follow me on Twitter at Rue Rosenberg, Instagram, The Rue Rosenberg. And again, the t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. I'm very close to rapping for you, so you might want to buy a couple if you want to hear me bust some sweet rhymes. Of course, I couldn't have said it any whiter. And follow all your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Steve Kaufmann, Christy Olsen, and James Frunk, a.k.a. Jimbo, in the chat. Or in the booth, wherever he is. He's somewhere out there. I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.